Are you tired of the violence, nudity, vulgar language, and all other negative things on television? Well, guess what? You are not alone. Lifevision TV is a new and exciting network for the whole entire family. Get Lifevision TV on Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, Apple TV, and of course on our website, www.lifevisiontv.com, and on Apple and Android apps. Lifevision TV, already making TV better.
Well, hello, saints and friends. It's that time of year that we've never had this year before. It's the Lifevision November experience.
Yes!
Coming to you Thursday on Thanksgiving Day, and then on Friday this week, 7:30 p.m.
Each night.
Tune in each night on our Facebook page. But not only is it going to be on Facebook, this time, for the first time, it's going to be on our TV network as well, LifevisionTV.com. So if you don't have Facebook, you know somebody that would like to see this and they don't have Facebook, just give them the link for LifevisionTV.com, 7:30 on Thursday night, Thanksgiving. Hopefully you've had a good time to eat.
Yes, enjoy. Happy Thanksgiving.
And watch it. And again, if you're not available that time, you have other activities going on, you can go to the Facebook page. It'll be there when you're ready to watch it. Thursday night, Friday night, and again on Saturday morning at 10 a.m., our partner session where we go over details and lay out the vision for Lifevision, and you'll be blessed by it. Let's spread the word, get the word out. They're going to be interviews by people, leading folks in the industry. Lots and lots of great music, videos.
It's all about music.
The
Beautiful
theme
music.
is music.
Wonderful music. Joyful music. Uplifting music.
So don't forget, tune in on this Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, 7:30 p.m. and again Friday, 7:30 p.m., Saturday, 10 a.m. God bless you.
Blessings. Shalom.
drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Can you see anything different as a pill?
No.
You don't know?
Fentanyl is being mixed into everything now. There's only one thing that will save somebody's life. That is naloxone nasal spray.
Fentanyl, it's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
Why would drug dealers put a lethal dose of fentanyl in drugs if they know it's so harmful?
Really just all about the money.
I just didn't realize that one pill could change your whole life.
More kids should know.
Pam Powell is coming.
Kids, we gotta go. Pam Powell's coming.
Pam Powell's coming. Hold on.
Pam Powell's coming.
She's coming.
Pam Powell's coming.
Who's Pam Powell? I'm Pam Powell, the host of the new Pam Powell Show. Are you broke, busted, and disgusted? Have you robbed Peter to pay Paul and they both ran out of money? Have you been lied on, cheated on, hated on? Well, it's time to get it on. Welcome to the Pam Powell Show. Call your neighbors and call your friends and tell them to tune in because our Pam Powell Show is back on again. And today our special guest is none other than the legendary entertainment mogul, Maury Starr. Yes, Maury Starr, because it's star time on the Pam Powell Show. And I'm standing right here at this beautiful mansion. Look at all the awards. I'm talking gold records, platinum records from Columbia Awards. He's also on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. But today on the Pam Powell Show, you're going to find out how to be a winner. So no matter what you're doing in life, we want you to win right here on the Pam Powell Show. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Be motivated and inspired as Pam Powell illustrates the power of the P factors. Start a new and wonderful life with the help of this amazing book. Order your copy of Pam Powell's book, The P Factor, today at www.pampowell.org. Pam Powell is also available for speaking engagements. Visit her website at pampowell.org.
This is the Pam Powell Show, and we're right here stopping traffic at the beautiful mansion of none other than entertainment mogul Maury Starr. That's right, that's right. Oh, we're going inside. We're going in his awesome studio. We're going to sit down right in front of all those gold and platinum records, and we're going to be having fun talking about winning and going to the T.O.P. because you know on the Pam Powell Show, that's where you're going to be. Remember, the Pam Powell Show is on. It's on right here at the Maury Starr Estate. Man, am I excited today on the Pam Powell Show. We spoke it prophetically. It's star time.
It is star
on
time.
the Pam Powell Show. And
Absolutely.
I got the awesome and incredible, the legendary mogul. Wow. That's right, entertainment guru.
That's all right.
None other than the General Maury Starr. Welcome to the Pam Powell Show.
Dr. Pam
All
Powell.
right, now you know I received that.
Okay.
Oh, I tell you, General, so many things has been going on. And you know, people in America today, they want to know how to win in life. And you've been a winner since a child. Tell us about winning. How do you win?
Well, it starts with a dream. Come on, somebody.
All right now.
Everything must start with a dream.
All right.
Because we got to sleep at some point.
That's it. That's
and
it.
sometimes what we dream, we don't always control at that time. But we figure out how to.
How to.
Come on. Come on.
All
God
right.
give us the dream, and we got to figure the rest out.
And you know, we hear a lot about without a vision, the people perish. And not only that, but you got to work that dream. I mean, when did you become the Star General?
Actually, my brother Calvin gave me that. That was later on. He told me that. He said, listen, Elvis got the colonel.
All right now.
You need to be a step higher.
Okay.
He said, you got the biggest group in the world, New Kids on the Block. Elvis was only number 2.
Come on.
He said, so instead of being the colonel, You must be the general.
Now, General, you know, we always hear that you got to walk, talk, and act like the person you wish to become. They tell me you was wearing general outfits and
Absolutely.
You walked it right in, right?
That's right. That's right. I studied other generals. I studied MacArthur when he would say in World War II. In 1941, he said, we must take another beach.
Come on now.
So in the music business, I brought it in and I say, I must take another beach.
That's it.
Come on, somebody.
Because, see, that's the thing in life. No matter what someone aspires to become, you got to study your craft.
That's right.
You know, I can remember as a little girl, I put my little Hollywood shoes on and walk around like I was on the red carpet. And guess what? Because of that belief and because of walking it in faith, I've had an opportunity to be on the Hollywood red carpet. Come on now. Interviewing superstars like yourself on your red carpet, Maurice.
Okay.
So tell us now, some of the people that you've worked with or had the opportunity to work with.
Ah, wow. That's a long list.
All right.
Starts out from Sinatra to P. Diddy to, of course, Michael Jackson, Luther Vandross.
Wow. Incredible.
Patti LaBelle. That list is long. Stylistics, but I'll just say every hit-making group of the 70s, probably 80% of them.
But it took something special to be able to get in there and connect with that audience. What was the key? So many people say they have fear, they can't connect with anybody. How'd you connect with all these great people?
Favor.
Come on now, somebody. Hey, favor ain't fair. That's all right. But what was the key though? Was it the persistence? I talk about the P factor, but you had to be persistent.
Absolutely.
I'm sure you got some no's sometime too, didn't you?
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. But I wouldn't accept them, but I got them.
Amen. I saw that about you the other night when you were producing. I just noticed that you just never stop. What's the key in life that people got to remember if they want to end up, becoming a legend like you? Your name's even on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and stuff. I mean, what's the key to that?
The key is hard work. You just said it. You gotta. I mean, I worked in my day so hard until I used to laugh at people that sleep. Because I would say they sleeping, I'm working.
All right.
So that's how hard I don't do it today.
All right. But you've heard that old saying that nothing comes to a sleeper but a dream.
Come on.
You can dream all day long.
That's
you can have a vision all day long, but you got to go do something.
That's
what was the common thread when you look at all these winners, whether it was Frank Sinatra or I know you worked with Shirley Caesar and different artists and Michael Jackson. What was the common ingredient, the thread that you felt that caused them to excel? What was it that stood out?
They saw the determination in my eyes. They said they saw the drive in my eyes. They saw it in my eyes. And they saw I was not going to give up, that I was only going to get better, because I've always preached the same thing. We can't get worse. We must get better.
And that's where passion comes in. Because if we're going to win in life, we got to have the passion. Come on, you talking some P-factor power up in here today. But what we want to do right now, I know you're working on a new project, and tell us all about that. I know you got a group that's, oh my God, they're going all over the world, just came back from Washington, D.C. We're going to be listening to them in a moment. But NK5, tell me what's going on with that.
Well, we were in Washington as they receive in Congress.
All right.
The ambassadorship for being the youth of bullying awareness, anti-bullying awareness.
Come on,
somebody.
All right.
Then from there, the youth, like Superman, didn't just save one kind of person.
He
didn't just save the doctor.
All right.
So we're also doing stuff in cancer research for children.
We're
also working with the United Way, but we are still the ambassadors.
I love it.
Anti-bullying.
So see, when you look at that, I mean, the world is so much bullying going on. I was bullied as a little girl, but I had faith no matter what. I was around people like yourself who would just say, come on, you can make it. You can win. And for them to see not just the music side of Maurice Starr, but to see the side of Maurice that wants to help others and give them hope. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, but I understand we just did this new project that you're working on.
Yeah. Together we stand.
All right. How was that?
We were so honored to have you be a part of that song and in that video, standing out like you always do.
Well, thank you so much. I was honored. What's the name of that song?
Together we stand.
All right. Did y'all hear that? Together. Come on, General. Together we stand. All right. All right. Let's take a listen.
All right.
We want to hear from who? NK5.
All right.
We'll be right back.
We can't go on in the mirror, tell me what do I see? I see someone I know that's winning and has the victory. I'm more than a conqueror. I'm what God created me to be. I am the head and not the tail. I am above and not beneath. No, I will not be a runaway when God's given me the keys. I refuse to be less than when I know God made me more than. When I know God made me more than. When I look in the mirror, tell me what do I see? I see a conqueror looking back at me. When I look in the mirror, tell me what do I see? I see someone I know who's winning and has the victory. I'm more than a conqueror. I'm what God created me to be. I am the head and not the tail. I am above and not beneath. No, I will not be a runaway when God's given me the keys. I refuse to be less than when I know God made me more than. When I know God made me more than. When I stop and think of all the things God's done for me, always opening doors and blessing me. Not only blessed me once, but over and over again. I can't lose with the stuff I used to, but God, I can't help but win. More than a conqueror, I'm what God created me to be. I am the head and not the tail. I am above and not beneath. No, I will not be a runaway when God's given me the keys. I refuse to be less than when I know God made me more than conqueror. More than a conqueror. More than a conqueror. That's what I am. More than a conqueror. I'm more than a conqueror. I'm more than a conqueror. That's what I am. 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 No, God made me more than. No, God made me more than.
Hi, I'm Elder Sunny here at Lifevision Church Orlando and Lifevision Church Daytona Beach. Boy, I tell you, it's all about love, and we love you, you love us, and love is an action word. So now it's your time to show it. Please support Lifevision Church Orlando / Daytona Beach. Please support Lifevision TV, Lifevision Radio, I Am at Home, Fellowship, all of the above. Send your donations today. Please, you can go to our Cash App, $Lifevision. You can go to our website, lifevision.church, and you can press the donate button. We look forward to your support to support the ministry, the vision. Get the word out around the world. Show your love and support today. And in the precious name of Jesus, we thank you.
What do an aerospace engineer, cancer immunologist, and bat scientist all have in common? We all have cool jobs in STEM fields. Whether it's building robots or learning to code, girls everywhere are finding their passion for science, technology, engineering, and math through positive role models and mentors. So dare to dive in, get connected, and explore. You never know what your future may hold. Learn more about these and even more cool jobs at SheCanSTEM.com.
know what I'm saying?
I'm interviewing Big Rob from GBA.
See all that smack.
Productions.
All that smack, see?
In a minute.
My man.
So I got JB with me laying it down.
I got JB.
Sitting here with Big Rob. How you doing, Big Rob?
How you doing, Skip? How's everything?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm great. Glad to have you, man.
Glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Big Rob's always doing big things, and he's been doing big things. Match his name, Big Rob. He's been doing Big Rob things for a long time. So, just want to ask you a couple questions, man. Like I said, glad you're here. First of all, how did you, get into security? Get into personal security? How did you get in that field?
Well, about say 1992, I'm a military brat. I've been overseas a lot. I was over there, and then I went to high school and college over there, and then I started kind of like bouncing in clubs and stuff, going to school and stuff.
When you say over there,
I mean, we rephrase that in Germany.
Okay.
I was overseas in Germany.
Okay.
And got over there and start, out there, got graduated from high school, going to work at clubs, and started to make money, to make money, starving student, starving college kid. Got into the business, started bouncing different clubs and organizations, and then one thing led to another. I met a couple people, and I got hooked up with a couple of clients, and then one thing led to another. Work with these different, with groups, and that's one thing started from there, and it started nonstop. Okay, that, man. So
okay, well, I'm gonna take you back because I saw something, and I was on YouTube, which everybody's on all the time, but I was on YouTube, totally unexpected. I was watching a Drew Hill concert. Wow, you remember that? Wow, Big Rob was standing and holding the crowd back. And Cisco was like, I'm gonna come down there in the audience, and Big Rob was doing this.
Yeah, man, geez, that was back in like 95, 96. Okay. We was working at the club DC Live at the time. Okay. It was over in DC Live. It was a big urban hip hop / R&B like international club.
Okay, that was.
I never forget that day, boy. Everybody had some memories, boy. Them girls wore me out.
Yeah, you were working hard that day, bro.
Yes, sir. I earned my money that day. Yeah, but that was a crazy day. Wow.
But you were holding it down though. So.
Yeah, I was trying to make it happen. He went there with that, didn't he? Wow.
Yes,
forgot all about that.
Yeah, I thought that would bring back some good and bad memories.
Forgot about that, brother. It was hot in that club too. I never forget that. Yeah.
So when I met you, you were working with Britney Spears, and you were head of security with Britney, and that was in her glory days when she first started. And I just remember. The security being tight, and how was that experience working with Britney Spears? I don't know whether that was your first experience with working in big venues like that, but how was that experience?
The experience was great. I mean, like I said, she was one of my first top artists that I worked with as far as a pop artist or any big artist, actually being in charge of the detail. It was just a great experience out there with them, just kind of like on the, I started with her when she was on the build-up, and actually being in the build-up as she's starting to grow, and you as the only security person at that time, and eventually I had I had staff come in to assist me, and getting all that done, and just getting this situated and seeing it grow from being just me to having a staff of 6 guys taking care of her.
Okay.
And the experience with that was a great experience for me. It was just we had our good days and we had our bad days,
right.
But again, that kind of like put me on the map. So as far as being, getting my reputation out there as far as being, personal security or bodyguard, however you want to call it.
Well, let me ask you this. Okay, so you were Britney's personal security. What's like the different, you have somebody that does venue, let us know, what
Yeah, basically what it is, like I said before, I did the personal stuff, and then I had a venue guy that takes care of the venue, avenues of it. He makes sure the venue is secure. He does all the, his responsibilities are to make sure that before we even arrive to the venue, that everything is in order, security meetings, get everything set up for, buses. I mean, his job entails a lot of different details. But at the end of the day, he's there to make sure that our venue is definitely secure and locked down before we arrive with the artists, and also for the touring staff or the staff that's out there with us to make sure everything's in order for us.
Right, so that's personal, and then there's venue, and then
Then we have one advanced person that takes care of all that advanced stuff. For example, we're out and about. If a client wants to go to, we say to eat dinner, Burger King or something like that, or to a restaurant, then what we'll do is I'll send my advanced guy ahead of time and make sure everything's in order. And when he gives me the green light, then we'll move with our client, with the client, and then we'll go to that particular venue. But I always have an advanced guy, a personal, and a venue person.
Okay. So it sounds like it's locked down all the time.
Yes. That's why you got to keep it locked down, yeah.
Now, okay, that's all before you get to the venue, but then once the concerts start, then you have security watching the stage, you have security, you still on the side of the stage, so that's a whole different thing, because at that point, if you're in a big venue, you might have 17, 20,000 people, so how do you lock that part of the job down?
Well, that part that entails, again, with the venue security. The venue security goes in ahead of time. He has his meetings with the venue security that are provided from the venue. So pretty much they work for us that particular day. And pretty much he's in charge of putting all that together, making sure that, everything's in order, the barricade security in the whole building, make sure that, you got to make sure, kind of like a TSA type of situation, and then you search and metal detectors and make sure everything is done. Doesn't matter if it's a pop group or a urban group, whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. Security is the same no matter how you look at it. And basically, again, his job is to make sure that the venue is in full lockdown, secure mode. That's his position. Right. To make sure everything is done. Right. Then when we come to the venue again, when he gives us the green light, then we come up to the venue and everything's pretty much secure. And he's in charge. He has various tasks. Again. He may go out, have meetings. He sends security riders in ahead of time. So when they get there, the venue's already aware of what we need and what our wants are and what don'ts are. Then you also have, we have our police presence there to make sure that, whatever the situation may be. In our past, we've always had bomb sweeping dogs going through, again, over the years, all the years I've been touring over 20 years now. That over the whole situation is just like, we're going through the Gulf War, we had 9/11 situations, we had, possibly had maybe some threat assessment issues with some, with a particular subject that, had a death threat or whatever. It depends on what the situation is, but the majority of the time we always have pretty much all that on lockdown, and everything is pretty much swept, and everything is 100% when we get to the venue. That's what his job entails. And then he comes to me when we get there, and then we'll all sit and have a meeting. And he tells him, Rob, we have to do this, and that, and to make sure we have pretty much where everything is: dressing rooms, catering, XY bathrooms, whatever the little things that people don't really think about. Right. That's things that we have to look in and make sure that we're all good. And again, that's what his job entails. Right.
And then you're in charge of the backstage and. Everything that goes on back there.
Correct. Pretty much. Yeah. We lock that up. We're pretty much on the back of the building while we're there doing shows or whatever. So
that's a lot. I mean, you have 20,000 people out front. Mm-hmm. You have people coming in and out of backstage. So that's a lot to take care of. Man.
Yes, it is. And again, you have to get out there and just make sure that you have a good team behind you. Right. And because at the end of the day, everybody's objective is to make sure everybody's safe and sound, even the audience, even the artists, even the touring crew, or whoever you're working with. Make sure your staff is always in order.
Right. Well, everybody must have been happy with your work, because I've seen you with Brittany, Janet, Jonas Brothers, what is it, Big Time Rush, and bunch of different people. So people must be happy with your work, man.
I guess I'll
try.
But
I think I can take you, bro.
Oh, yeah, like that. You want to take me, Jonas?
Well, that's my little bit of time with Big Rob, and we are out.
Thank you.
Come on, boys, bring the chorus around.
We are excited to present Rejoice Life Vision Radio, bringing you many of our TV broadcasters for you to enjoy on your PC tablet, your smartphone, and even in your car. We have joined forces with the award-winning Rejoice Musical Soul Food National Radio Network to bring you the best in gospel music and industry information along with our cutting-edge programs. If you're interested in bringing your radio program to an international level, just call us right now.
So I just pulled up to work, and as I'm parking, I hear, and then my tire light comes on. Now, I just finished saying how God will fight for you, how he's watching over you to make sure you're okay. I drive from Baltimore to DC, 50 miles, straight highway. When I leave out my door, it's 2 minutes to the highway. When I'm coming into DC, it's 2 minutes to my job. And as soon as I get here and I'm about to park, then my tire blows. That is the Lord watching out. That is the Lord looking out. So crazy, bro. I have like absolutely no doubt that if my tire had blown out on a highway, man, I would have gotten an accident. I be driving fast. It'd be a lot of traffic. Like, I would have gotten an accident for sure. But as soon as I pulled up to park, that's when it happened. Now, I ain't gotta be like huffing and puffing while I'm waiting for AAA. I'm gonna be here for 10 hours. AAA can take their sweet time and come change my tire, because I'm not gonna change it. That's what insurance is for. I'm just like, God is so good, man. It is ridiculous. He be looking out. He be watching out. Man, y'all just put your trust in the Lord.
Humble Sing a song that said, Spirit of the living God, fall fresh on me.
The privilege of working with Bishop Rance Allen on this project, Keep Hymns Alive. He sang the first single, Throw Me Overboard, which is a medley with the song, There's a Storm Out on the Ocean. This was one of the last songs recorded by Bishop Allen before his transition from earth to glory. Bishop Allen was a living legend, and it was a great shock to us all when he left us. He was such a tremendous influence on singers and musicians, and his music and ministry will live on.
From the overboard, from the overboard, from the overboard. Where's your hat? Bishop, bless your bones, man.
Man, it is a joy to see you, to be with you. And
Yes,
man,
sir.
I'm going to tell you, that young lady on that keyboard is doing a wonderful job. Amen.
Yeah, she's my keyboardist. You know, there's been churches that called her. You know, sometimes it's hard for a church to get a musician, especially a good musician.
Yeah.
And man, they called her and said, you know, we'll give you big money to come over here. And I tell her, honey, you gotta stay with me. I might not be able to give you big money, but I can give you big love.
Big love. The truth of the matter is, if God allows them to happen, it's because God is able to bring you through. You don't have to worry about anything that happens, because if God allows it to happen, God is going to bring you through. Ain't no need of crying.
Crying, right?
When it's raining.
Yeah.
And nobody's gonna be able to tell you crying because you're standing in the rain.
Wow. Yeah.
If they cut
That's
off
beautiful.
the lights in your little house, don't let them cut off the sunshine in your heart. Because life's got ups, just like it's got downs.
Yeah.
Life got smiles, just like it's got frowns.
Hallelujah.
There ain't no need, Bishop. Just
No
ain't
need.
no need of crying when it's raining.
I love
Praise
it.
God instead.
Hallelujah.
I'm still learning how to do that, but I know that's the truth.
Yeah.
Praise God instead.
That's right.
You get the victory.
Yes, sir.
Don't care what anybody says.
Yes, sir. Amen.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Lord.
There's only one Bishop Rance Allen. Hallelujah.
Bless you, sir. Bless you.
Yes, yeah, man. So many people you blessed, Bishop. So many people you blessed. And man, the time rolls by so fast.
And the thing about it, Bishop, I don't have the opportunity to sit down with the boss man of the record company too often. So you know this is a special day for me.
Oh man, it's my
I just
pleasure.
want to let all of them know out there that's listening that you are the man that took interest in the Rance Allen Group. God, I don't know how many years ago now. I think we've been with you well over 10 years.
Yeah, yeah.
I thank the Lord that He'll bring people into your life.
Right,
people
right.
that love you, people that are interested in you and in what you're doing.
Yes.
Bless you, Bishop. Just keep up the good work. Keep it
Yes,
up.
sir. Well, you've been a tremendous blessing, I tell you, to us. And we just thank God for you. And, you know, I think being with a record company or a record company being with an artist is sort of like a marriage, you know.
Yeah.
You can have good people, but everybody can't be married together, you know.
That's right.
You know, you can be super saved, but that don't mean you're supposed to be married, you know.
Boy, So you may have some girlfriends, but it ain't but one wife.
Right, right. and when it clicks, you know. That's
it.
Yeah.
Amen.
So we thank the Lord.
Well, saints and friends, I'm excited today because I have the pleasure of talking to a man that has had great impact in my life. I've been able to watch his life and his legacy build over the years, probably 40-some years. But none other than Dr. Leonard Scott, Bishop Dr. Leonard Scott. Amen. And welcome, Bishop. Thanks for taking the time out of your busy schedule to talk with us a little bit today.
Bishop Johnson, I am delighted to be with you. I tell you, yeah, we go way back, man.
Well, for those of you that don't know, Dr. Scott is many things. I mean, he's been a renowned dentist, had a wonderful dental practice for many years. I understand his daughter and now granddaughter have taken on that profession. He's a man of God, a church guy, grew up in the church, loves music. He's a musician, especially plays guitar, and he's founded, I think, the oldest Black-owned gospel company in the world, Ty Scott Records. And many of you may not have known Dr. Scott, but many of his artists that have blessed us, people like John P. Key and Rance Allen, and done stuff with Albertina Walker, and great songs like Order My Steps in the Lord with the Gospel Music Workshop of America. So many wonderful artists in the past and the present. And we're just excited to be able to talk to him today. And Bishop, why don't you just, take a minute and just explain yourself to us the way you would if you were in a 30-second elevator introduction.
Well, I love the Lord, but I haven't always been saved. I think I was in my early 20s when the Lord saved me. Before that, I was a little hellion, running around, trying to be a music star. But when he saved me, all that changed. Believe it or not, I used to have a great big afro. And, where you at? You probably had one too.
I did. I have one. My wedding picture, I have a big afro. And somehow, for years, my wife has turned my hair white.
Don't blame it on her. She's probably the reason you still got hair.
Yes. And then she turned around and made her hair blue and somehow white.
As you see, mine is gone. So, but yeah, we changed my life when the Lord saved me. I actually got out of music when the Lord saved me, because on the dark side, music had become my God, and you can make a God out of anything. And so I just totally got out of it. And then after about a year, it's like God changed it and gave it back to me. That's sort of how Ty Scott got started.
Well, let me ask you this. In growing up, your parents, were they into music or church or what?
Actually, when I was, smaller, our parents went to church, but it really wasn't like a lifestyle. It was like, back then, everybody went to church.
Yeah.
And, sometimes they'd get in late from the club on Sunday morning, and they wouldn't go that day, but they send us down to the corner church that we didn't even go to Sunday school or whatever. But they went to church. But I was 7 when the Lord saved my mother.
Wow.
And first he saved my grandmother first. And my grandmother that's my mother's mother. She lived in a town about 70 miles away from where we live. And we would go visit, and and they would drink beer and
play cards and smoke and all that, but then I remember when I was 7, something had changed. When I was 6, we went to her house and she didn't do that no more. And the dresses she wore were different. She wore a long dress. and she took us to church, just something happened almost like overnight. And then eventually, my mother and my aunt, they got saved, and that's when we started going to the Sanctified Church. And where we used to go to church on Sunday, now we went to church almost every day.
Yeah.
Because I was just small. I think I was around 7. I think when she got when the Lord saved her, and so at that point, things just kind of changed.
What was it? A church affiliated with a denomination or group?
At that time, the church was affiliated with the PCAF, Pentecostal Churches of Apostolic Faith.
Yeah.
But it started out being a PAW church. And I think that particular church is back to the PAW now. But at that time, it was PCAF.
Gotcha. Okay. So at a fairly young age, you got introduced to the Pentecostal style worship and the music of Pentecostal apostolic churches.
Yeah. That was a little different than the church we had went to before. Was kind of like laid back, wasn't real. They sang, but the songs were your basic traditional hymns. No praise and worship courses, where the people get up and start a song,
Did you start playing? Were you playing in church at that time?
Oh no! At that time, I think I started playing clarinet. My daddy bought me a clarinet when I was 8 years old, and I just played in school, in grade school. But it wasn't until I went to college, and I had some cousins that had a band, and they wanted me to get into band, and they found, I don't know where they got it from. They got a saxophone, alto saxophone from somewhere. Clarinet and saxophone pretty similar. And I started playing that in the band, and that really kind of launched my musical from a career standpoint.
So were those the days of like Kool and the Gang and folks like that?
Yeah, we did a lot of cover, James Brown, Temptations. We used to do a whole Motown thing, just a bunch of Motown artists, and yeah.
So when you got saved, how did you wind up meeting your wife?
Actually, my wife was the sister of my pastor, and one day his wife actually said, I got somebody I'd like for you to meet. At that time, I was a divorcee, and I had 3 little babies. One was 0, one was 2, and one was 4.
Wow.
And I guess she felt sorry for me, having these 3 kids. And she said, somebody I'd like for you to meet. She said, no, and I just want y'all to meet. I'm not trying to match y'all together or anything. And so, that's how we met. She came, to visit her brother and sister-in-law, because she was living in Ohio at that time.
Okay.
And we met, and nothing really jumped off immediately, but eventually, we kind of saw that it was like a God type ordained thing, for us to be together, and yeah.
Wow.
That's sort of how it happened.
And you discovered she's a musician as well, right?
Yes, she plays she's been playing piano since she was a little child. I mean, playing for churches since she was a little child.
And she's good, man. I listen to her playing sometimes. I said, man, she can play.
Yeah, she's gifted.
Yeah, that's amazing. So I recall, when we first met, sometimes I would call you and you were like, well, we having a rehearsal tonight. What kind of rehearsal? A family. We have a family rehearsal. What was that y'all doing?
Well, when we got married, I had 3 boys and she had 1, and so we started out with 4 kids when we got married, and so we started a little group, family group with. I played sax and she played keyboards, and one of the sons played tenor sax, and one of them played trumpet, and one played drums. And I mean, we just
so you together. With Joe Jackson, but you actually played.
Right. It was a lot of fun. Some of the churches would have us to come, and I guess it was kind of a novelty to have this Christian family band. It was a lot of fun.
What did you all call yourselves?
They just Scott family, I think.
That's all right. So tell me a little bit about how when you started the record company. I think what brought you to my attention was I think the TM Mass Choir or Youth Choir? What was that?
TM Mass Choir. They were with TM Records. I think that was that was another whole company.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was how I stumbled across you. I can't even remember.
I remember Dr. Betty Shoel is the one that really hooked me up with you. She said, there's this guy in Baltimore that you need to meet because he's doing the same thing you're doing. He's got a record company, and I think y'all just need to hook up. I think she's the one that hooked us up.
Oh, okay, man. She was just a gem. She was just a real gem. She was our choir director, and when we were growing up, and I played the organ. My wife was singing on the choir. But Betty she was just known as that choir director. I thought it was like we were in the military or something. She'd be directing like she was angry. But she was wonderful person. And so I recall that once we got hooked up, we had a meeting. Like I said, let's get together with Jerry Thomas from Cleveland, who was doing some things, and we went out there to meet at his place. And I thought that was the nuttiest thing. Afterwards, I was like, why in the world would I go to a meeting in Cleveland in the middle of the winter?
Man, you bringing back memories.
Yeah, that stuff drove me to Florida. that snow and cold, I couldn't take it. I couldn't.
Wow.
But so how did you get going with Ty Scott?
Actually, I had this, I got out of music altogether, and then the Lord kind of just gave me a release, and I just got into choir. I still wasn't trying to do anything, just but sing. But our church was going through some transitions. I just say transitions, and I had gone on a fast, 3-day night fast. I just went in a hotel room, just locked myself in there. Had my Bible, had a little tape recorder, so you know how long ago that been.
Yeah.
And just fasted and prayed for three days and 3 nights. And at the end of that time, when it was time to leave, when it was over, I just started writing songs. I mean, and before then had never really, I tried to write, R&B songs, before, not very successful at all, And but when about 8 or 10 songs, just one after another, words and music. And I just started singing them in this tape recorder I had. And when it's amazing when I left out of there, I think might have been in January, February, when I left out of and I hadn't been outside for 3 days. And so when I went out of the hotel room, went outside, it had been an ice storm. And so everything was looking like crystal, out of trees and everything. And man, I was like, wow, this is beautiful. I didn't know if I had died and gone to heaven or something. But I went to an organist and told him, about these songs or whatever. And he said, wow. I asked him what he thought about them, and he said, I think we ought to do a recording. And so we did a recording. And at the time, I was practicing dentistry, and I had, I think, maybe a couple other little businesses. And my attorney, he said, what you need to do is you need to incorporate this recording you're doing. You need to, form a label, a company. He didn't say a label, he said company. And it was basically for protection in case somebody says, you stole my song, and they sue you. Well, if it's not incorporated, they sue everything, They'll practice. But if it's, and so that's, and he asked me, well, what do you want to call it? And I wasn't thinking about having a record company. All we wanted was a record for our church choir. And so the guy that I started it with, the organist, Craig Tyson, his name was Tyson. And I said, I don't know what to call it. He said, well, what's your partner's name? I said, Craig Tyson. He said, well, why don't you call it Ty Scott? I said, okay. And so that's how we started.
It's great.
But after that, we put out that first record. It was called Feel Good. And other artists started coming to us asking about being on our label. And it's almost like, now who does that? I mean, that was like a God-directed thing. He's orchestrating this whole thing. I don't have a clue. I'm just available. And that's sort of how we
wow,
how we got started.
That's an amazing story. And I remember, kind of tagging along with you and starting to do a few things together, like at the gospel music workshops and stuff like that. And those are some real fun times that we'll always cherish. Going out and putting on some joint things, and then you got the deal with Benson Records to distribute and stuff like that. That was great. And I kind of dropped out around that time. I started pastoring, and I was like, I'm going to change my focus. Although I still kept the label going, and worked with Robert Nawa Smith and Diane Franklin. But I've kind of drifted away from it. But I thank God for the tenacity that you had to keep it moving. And I guess you started to have some real breakthroughs. I guess was John P. Key sort of like one of the big pieces that pushed you forward?
Yes. But before him, there was an artist. I don't know if you remember him. Now, his name was Bill Sawyer.
Yeah, we even had him come to Baltimore.
All right.
And
he was really,
in the way you are attracted to keeping the hymns alive and stuff like that. That was pretty much what he was doing as well. So I imagine that was right down your alley without even really realizing, probably.
Yeah, I didn't know. Back then, I tell you, when we would go to the gospel music workshops and, at the Announcers Guild, where they allow the record companies to present their records. Back then it was big old LPs. And, man, we'd go in there and sweating in front of all those announcers, trying to get them, will you play this, trying to get it in the stores. And he just, he was, I think he was the chaplain of the Announcers Guild at that time. And he, after my poor presentation, he came over and said, he said, you know what? He said, I like you. He said, what I'm going to do, he said, I've got this record. He said, all of them on it. He said, but I'm pastoring the church, and the church is growing. I don't have time to be doing records. He said, I'm going to just turn it over to you. And he did. And at that point, I really saw that you could really make money selling records. You know? Because before then, man, I would meet with my accountant every year. And he would look at, you know, dental practice is doing good. You know, this is doing good. Then you get to the record company. He said, now this right here, you need to shut this down. He said, you need to drop that. And, you know, and I would tell him that, well, you know, I like gospel. I like doing music, and you golf. He was a golfer, you know. I said, you spend thousands of dollars every year golfing, you know.
That's right.
And he just looked at me and shake his head. He said, you need to shut that down.
Yeah, that was a good analogy. You know, yeah. My wife also has a saying that what we love to do, we'll find time to do, and we'll find the money to do it with.
Right.
And that's the truth. And thank God you can begin to look at what you love and do things that you love, and particularly the things that give glory to the Lord, and to realize that His hand is guiding you through. You know, using your passion for it, your love for it to bless people.
Right. Yeah.
I look at some of the, you know, I was looking at your Ty Scott page and YouTube, and some of those folks have like millions of views of artists' songs, like, you know, Rance Allen, John P. Key, and people like that. And you got Dietrich Haddon and. Tell me just some of the ones that like, you know, excite your memory as you think about the folks that you've been able to work with.
Well, you named some of them. Of course, Vashawn Mitchell also, you know, has been and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Anthony Brown and Group Therapy. They kind of took the whole thing to another level, you know.
Yes, from Maryland, Baltimore.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but so many, you know, Jason Nelson also from Maryland, in Baltimore there, and oh man, so many. KCJ, Bree Babinoff, wow, Ruth Leantra.
Yeah, so some of these are newer artists. I was telling you, I've kind of dropped out of music, you know, to the extent so I'm trying to get to know some of the newer artists. And I remember hearing that young lady Bree a few years back, and I think, you know, before she was on your label, and I was like, whoa, that girl is something else.
Yeah.
That's exciting. I want to talk a little bit about just, I'm thinking about the power of music and what God has allowed us to be a part of. Years ago, when I had my recording studio, I was trying to break into the advertising business, and a couple of agencies in Baltimore that handled most of the ads that went on radio and TV. And so I was trying to get into the jingle business. So I started studying like a few of the companies and the way they did their presentations. And I found this one company talked about the power of jingles and little tunes. And mentioned the fact that the tunes that you heard as a child or commercials that you heard, they would go and do these focus groups and they say, when was the last time you heard this commercial? It'd be like a Coke commercial that maybe played 20 years ago. And they say, well, I think I heard it like 6 months ago. And I said, no, that commercial hasn't played for 20 years.
Isn't that something?
But I started thinking about that. I realized that there were jingles that I heard as a little kid. Like we had a company that did diaper, back in those days we had cloth diapers and people had diaper service. You put the diapers and they take them and clean them and bring them back. And there's a commercial that they had called "Mommy, Call Hamden, y'all on 50600." I'm like, how can 50, 60 years later, I know the telephone number to that company? And we opened the first shopping mall in Baltimore was Mondawmin Mall, which was a few blocks from my house growing up. And to this day, the jingle that they had is in me. Mondawmin, Mondawmin, beautiful new Mondawmin, just park your car and there you are at beautiful new Mondawmin. And that opened my eyes to how powerful music is, that somehow it gets in you, and God's got some music repository inside of us that is just so powerful.
Yeah.
And so the songs that we've heard growing up that are in us, no matter what genre they are, they're in us. And
right.
What are your feelings about the power of music? I'm sure it's probably at you as well.
Oh, very, very powerful. And just like you said, I heard Andre Crouch testifying about he stuttered when he was a child. He said he stuttered real bad. He couldn't talk without stuttering. But he said he found out that when he sang, he didn't stutter. And so he said he just began singing all the time. Somebody asked him, "How you doing, Andre?" He said, "I'm doing fine." He'd sing it instead of...
That's funny.
Like you say.
One of the most well-known singers in Baltimore, Deacon Elihu Johnson, he grown up pretty much at Bishop Carr and Bishop Saunders' church. And he joined our church in his later years. And he was the same way. He stuttered even, till the time he died, he stuttered. But when he got up to sing, it was just perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah. So they say, it's like the sides of your brain. One side, the left side, I think, is like the analytical side, and the right side is the beauty and, aesthetics and whatever. And so if you can, music kind of puts them both together. It takes a message and puts it with something beautiful, and it can get even what you may not want to get in. And that is positive and negative.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times you hear, the kids say, "Well, I don't listen to the words. I just like the beat." But then the words are like awful, But that message is going to get in you regardless of whether you think you listening or not.
That's right. And I noticed this when my kids were teenagers, and this was the time of BET and VH1 and stuff like that. And I would pay attention to what they were humming when they weren't paying any attention. So this was right before I was starting my church. I would just listen to what they were humming or what songs would just pop in their mind. So it was all Michael Jackson and Prince and stuff like that. And I was like, wow. And so I would try to get them to listen to the gospel. I don't want to hear that gospel stuff, like, wow. And I'm thinking, man, how can this happen? that I'm a gospel guy. I played my whole life in church, and my kids are like, I don't want to hear it. And luckily, when we started the church, one of the first things we did, we had a concert with Commission,
mm-hmm.
And so I gave a cassette to my oldest son, Dwayne. I said, check these guys out, see what you think about them. And then I realized, like a month or so later, I was hearing him humming those songs.
Oh.
After they came and did the concert, of course, they had tremendous impact during that time. And he got turned on to gospel music, became a gospel DJ and program director and all of that. And now he's a bishop. But I thought about how that just shows the music that you're hearing that seeps in, starts in a direction going one way or the other.
Right. Wow. It's powerful.
Share with me a little bit about your creative process. You described what happened when you heard those first songs. Does it still work the same way for you in getting inspiration for songs?
Yes, to some extent. I still get, inspiration. Very seldom a whole song like at that initial time. Sometimes I do get a whole song, but usually it's just a melody or either an idea, a thought. And I'm sure that about that from your sermons or whatever. Very seldom God gives you a whole sermon. He gives you a thought, a scripture,
Yeah.
And then you say, oh, wow. And he'll give you some enlightenment, and you just have to kind of build it up. And that's started, the way I'll get this like inspiration or either a melody or a beat or something or an idea. And then I have to develop it out usually. But you know what? I've recently become affiliated with an organization called Writing Rounds.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, they're an organization that you can write with other people, where you can and I found that when you put your mind with somebody else's mind, it seems like there's another mind in there, and so. And you can write anytime you want to. You just go to the website, hook up with whoever you want to write with. Set up a time. And, they have rooms you can go in, or you can do it on Zoom or whatever, however you want to do it. But the thing I like about it is that once you get a song done, you present it to them, and they're a publishing company also, and so for a piece of the publishing, they'll shop it for you. But then I like also that if it doesn't fly, they don't just hold the publishing, they'll revert it back to you, like after a year or two if they couldn't get it, And so it seemed like to me a pretty good deal.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Well, let me ask you this, and kind of bring it to a close. Today things have changed, and it's spectacular that you. Even as you've gotten older, you still committed to putting music out there and sharing it with people, and wherever the Lord has you, you laying it out there and putting out new stuff. I love, it's powerful to me. Sometimes I'm listening and I'm hearing, wait a minute, that's Dr. Scott. I know that voice. So I'm blessed by that, and I commend you for continuing to work and get the things that God gives you and sharing it with the world. What would advice? So if a young person today is coming along, back in the old days, they would come and try to do a demo and then try to, shop it to the labels. What's the process today for somebody like that who's 18, 20 years old and is gifted and wants to present what they have to the world?
Yes, totally different operation today. Like you say, we used to go out to the churches, you just kind of keep your ear to the ground, who people are talking about, and on the secular side, they go to the clubs or whatever, they find out who the new great best bands are and whatever. Now, from what I'm told, most companies go into a conference room with a computer and see who got 2 million hits on YouTube. They start, seeing and listening to their YouTube thing, and if they like them, then they get in touch with them.
Right.
Say, hey, I think you got something there. So it's no more going out. And so I guess my advice would be get something to go viral on YouTube.
Yeah. Right.
And yeah, they're gonna be looking for you.
Well, that seems to be the way to go, and I think where the Lord has blessed me at this point. I've kind of focused on digital ministry, and now I feel this hunger to do music. I'm on a conference call with the the church that my father had been pastor of, and they still look to me in terms of leadership in some ways. And so I participate with the Bible class, and so often they'll bring up songs that I wrote like 30 or 40 years ago for the choir, and they want to get those songs and stuff. And I realized I was in a place there where I was doing a lot of writing and arranging songs, and I haven't done it for the last 30 years or so. So I have a desire to, but I need to learn how this stuff all works today.
Wow.
I'm hoping I have a good time. I got these keyboards, and I don't know how to do the beats and all that kind of stuff, you know. And it seems like nobody's really helping me. So it's like my son told me, "Oh, you can learn it."
Oh man, all you gotta do is go on YouTube. All you gotta do is Google it, you know.
Yeah.
How do you work this keyboard, you know? And then boom, man, they'll send you videos, all kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, thank the Lord for Google, and thank the Lord for YouTube. And we thank the Lord for you, Bishop Dr. Leonard Scott, and we just thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk with us, and hopefully many people will be blessed as we put this together and share it with the world. So I want you to give my regards to your beautiful wife and your family, and we hope to see you very soon.
Yeah, I'm gonna come down as soon as the snow starts hitting real bad here. I'm gonna come down your way. I'm gonna look you up.
All right. Thank God for you. Thanks, Doc.
God bless you, man.
All right.
Have you heard of Lifevision TV, the new and exciting TV network? Lifevision TV has some of the most exciting movies, TV shows, documentaries, and the best programming for the entire family. Start watching now on Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, Apple TV, and of course our website, www.lifevisiontv.com, and Android and Apple apps. Lifevision TV, already making TV better.